So Super Mario Party Jamboree just got some big news because you probably know the game is out Thursday, so tomorrow at the time that this video is going live. If you're watching it later than that, maybe you're already playing through the game, but we are discussing today the massive response this game got whenever it comes to reviews, because if you look at the Mario Party franchise as a whole, with those high regarded sites like Metacritic, that, to be fair, is not the end all be all for any video game out there. I've definitely played my fair share of low scoring Metacritic games that actually play fantastic in my opinion and that I personally really enjoy. It's still a good indicator for what is new about this entry in the franchise. Is there anything that's kind of pushing the boundaries or changing the formula up a little bit? Or is it just flat out the best experience in franchise history? And as somebody who's been fortunate enough to play just about every Mario Party game ever released, when I see headlines like Jamboree is getting the highest review scores in series history, that's a very exciting claim and statement to me. And while reviews can still come in last minute and this is not a finalized score, as of right now, it is officially the highest rated Metacritic Mario Party game that we have had, period, coming in at an 82. That is above the 80 that Mario Party Superstars received and the 76 that Super Mario Party received. So head and shoulders beating the other two Switch entries at this point in time. And we learned a lot of new interesting details and tidbits from these interviews, so I want to walk through a roundup of them today. And yes, we'll even briefly mention that ridiculous Eurogamer score where they scored it a 4 out of 10 and have a little bit of a conversation on how some people just flat out don't enjoy Mario Party games. But the goal at the end of this video is for you to walk away with a better understanding of what this game is going to have to offer and hopefully help you make an informed decision on whether or not you might want to add this one into your Nintendo Switch collection as a day one purchase. So we'll get on the same page with all of that. Before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And I want to first start off this conversation by hopping over to Nintendo Life, where they do have a very nice write-up that does outline a bunch of different well-known gaming news publications and their thoughts on Super Mario Party Jamboree. Now, Nintendo Life up first, they loved it and scored the game a 9 out of 10. We called Nintendo's latest the best Mario Party to date, praising its mini-game selection, boards, new modes, and just about everything you can think of. Gaming Bible, who also scored the game a 9 out of 10, said, as someone who was a bit underwhelmed by Super Mario Party and desired more from Mario Party Superstars, this title feels like the best of both worlds, and I'd be more than happy to see this become the formula used for future entries. IGN gave the game a 9 out of 10 and says, not only does it faithfully return to the classic formula established in the N64 entries, it confidently improves upon it with a fantastic set of boards that introduce unique and memorable mechanics. Tech Radar gave Jamboree a 4 out of 5 and said, Super Mario Party Jamboree doesn't break new ground, but takes the best of the series past and present to make a big celebratory package, best experienced at get-togethers where the real magic and carnage happens. VGC gives the game 4 out of 5 and says, it still hasn't managed to shake some of the core issues of the series, especially when it comes to balancing the game for younger and less experienced players. But judged against previous entries, it stands out as a top offering. Now, getting into a couple of the lower scored reviews, you have GameSpot, which gave it a 6 out of 10 and said, the new modes are largely duds, the tantalizing promise of 20-player online falls a bit flat, and several of the new mini games are a slog. That said, the new maps are the best original ones in many years, and Jamboree promises to still be a blast when you've got some friends over. Eurogamer, which scored the game a 2 out of 5 or a 4 out of 10 on their Metacritic review, says, I get that all's fair in love and war and all of that, but when the route to victory seems to lie so firmly in fortress flukes rather than hard-won ability, it can't help but leave everything feeling a bit arbitrary as a result. So first of all, there was a lot of major gaming publications that gave this a 90 plus on Metacritic and had really good things to say about how Nintendo really has served both fans of different types of Mario Party styles in this game, and that's what I'm personally very exciting for. Like, yes, there's some motion-based mini games, there's also some button-controlled ones, and it seems like the button-controlled ones are indeed the bread and butter of the game, which makes me very excited personally because that is where I enjoy playing mini games in Mario Party the most. It's no secret that Mario Party might struggle to tack on some kind of a single player mode, and it does seem like there's a few roadblocks just starting up the game where you do actually have to progress in that mode a little bit before you can hop straight into all of the different mini games. It makes you unlock some stuff before you can maybe just go in and select whatever mini game you want to play and kind of hop into any particular mode, and maybe Nintendo could have streamlined that. You also don't play Mario Party games for single player enjoyment. I mean, sure, If you really just want to practice at mini games, or if you want to have some fun with the CPU players, you can of course play in the party mode by yourself. But this time around, they tried to put a little bit more thought into a single player mode and progression, and no surprise, it didn't hit with many critics, and I don't think that I would play or spend very much time in that mode myself either. Now, one thing to remember with Mario Party, while there is new mechanics and, you know, we have this Jamboree buddy, which will no doubt add some chaos to your classic progression in Mario Party games, it's still largely always going to be a Mario Party experience at its core. And if you've played one of the entries in the franchise, you more or less kind of know what to expect in terms of the primary reason you are going to buy this game. As that seemed to be some of the critiques from like the controversial Eurogamer review, which of course scored the game extremely low, 2 out of 5 stars or 4 out of 10 on the Metacritic scale. And it seemed like the person who was reviewing the game flat out probably doesn't like the idea of Mario Party that much, complaining about things like how you have to wait for other players to go until it's your turn, and the different cutscenes and transitions as you go through various aspects of the game. Like, again, if you know what a Mario Party game has to offer, you pretty much know what to expect with this game. That said, obviously Mario Party games are not for everyone, and it does seem that if you're just objectively looking at this game for, is this the magical new formula, and does the new modes within this game take everything to such an enjoyable height that even a non-Mario Party fan would need to check this out, and maybe it will win you over to ultimately become a Mario Party fan? Well, the consensus from Eurogamer is anyway that would just not happen. However, I am still very optimistic about a lot of these different modes. I will say that those like motion-based mini games that we saw, where of course you have Toad's Item Factory and that fruit slashing game, and then like the Koopa Flight School and all of that stuff, it sounds like those, you know, you might put a little bit of time into them. It's probably not going to be where you spend a large chunk of your time. And there were even some modes that reviewers were not completely able to check out, like the full 20-player online Koopathlon experience and the 8-player online Bowser's Kaboom Squad. So it's hard to say just how much time you might get out of those. But if you're somebody who wants to play this game online with friends or just with the broader online Mario Party community, I think you're going to have a good time in this game. And the fact that it scored the highest out of the entire franchise to me is very reassuring to see. And knowing that there seem to be a lot of fun, new, enjoyable mini games overall, and a best of both worlds approach to a gameplay style from button and motion, I personally am sold on it. But that's where I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video. What do you make of the reviews of Super Mario Party Jamboree so far? And are you personally excited to check out the highest Metacritic rated Mario Party entry in the franchise history? And do you agree or disagree with any of the reviews and takes you've been seeing about this game online? And are you now any more or less sold on picking up this game at or around launch, following all of the new information and publication reviews? And do you plan to check out any of the single player content, or more importantly, the new online modes? And is that a part of the factor of why you might buy this game, or are those more of an afterthought and you really just want to boot this up with some friends in the room locally or online and go through party mode together? So make sure you share all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below before you leave, regardless if we agree or disagree. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn your notification bell. And with that, I've been Sunbro, you've been Nation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.